Welcome to today's podcast, and today we're going to be talking about abundance through working with your child self. Now, everything I talk about in these podcasts are things that I have personally learned in my own life and lessons I have personally learned in my own life and tools I have developed throughout all the years. And this is one of the more powerful tools I have used personally. As children, we are raised to follow the belief systems of our parents. Sometimes our parents do get it wrong, and what might be the right belief system for them personally may not feel right for us ourselves. And as children, we do not know any better, and so we subconsciously trust that what is being taught to us is the way that things simply are. And this pure trust, the trust of a child, you just trust what is being taught to you. And this allows us to learn these lessons from our parents very easily and to absorb them into our minds. Nonetheless, being raised around certain values will have created habitual ways in which we respond to certain situations in our lives. And one of the most obvious examples is our belief on how we feel about bringing prosperity and abundance into our lives. Seeing how our parents interact with money and seeing how they interact with those that they love and how they bring love and money and all the things that represent abundance, how they bring it into their lives. And by watching them do it, you have been programmed to pretty much follow in their steps and follow the same process. Most psychologists believe that our brains are trained to respond to most of life's circumstances in a certain manner, and this usually happens between the ages of 3 to 5 years. These years are hugely crucial in deciding how we will react to our circumstances for pretty much the rest of our lives. These are very formative years for us, and it's up to our parents to teach us these responses. This also means that as adults, most of us come to discover that perhaps these responses to life and its circumstances aren't quite right, and it's now up to us to reprogram our own wiring, so to speak. As an adult, I personally discovered that when the beliefs I was raised with did not match what I personally felt was right, I often fought off feelings of guilt and shame. And this was all simply because how I had been trained to think as a child went in opposition with the personal beliefs that I was associating with. A few years ago, to assist me with the process, I began with a series of meditations where I would go back and see my child self, myself at the age of between 3 to 5 years old. And I would comfort myself and tell myself that it was okay to think and feel how I wanted to, and not how people outside of me expected me to. I found that these meditations really did help me profoundly in letting go of beliefs that did not serve me and allowed me to accept what I personally believe to be right without holding on to any of the negative emotions I had felt before. Sometimes I would only need to meditate once or twice on a certain subject, but sometimes it would be a whole month or longer worth of repeating the meditation over and over again. You got to remember that, especially with memories and thought processes that are so ingrained in us, it can take time to work through it. And not just meditating, but journaling also helps you with the process. So after every single meditation, I would always journal about it, and it would help me to work through my emotions and finally accept that I'm not wrong and I don't need to feel these negative emotions. I just have a different way of looking at life, and there's nothing wrong with that. So when you start a new practice or start a new direction in your life, and you find that you're suddenly surrounded by unfounded or negative thoughts or emotions that seem to have no real reason or basis whatsoever, Maybe that your inner child is telling you that this new set of beliefs that you're trying to adopt does not agree with the thoughts and values that you were raised with. You are at a point where your adult self is now in disagreement with your child self. Be careful not to bully your inner child. This is very important. A lot of us want to sort of bully our inner child and stuff it into a dark corner and make it just keep quiet. But be careful not to bully your inner child into accepting these new habits and ways of thinking. You have to accept that it's a process, and now is the time for you to really be gentle with yourself. It is a transition that can take some time, and it's not something that can be rushed into. It'll take time to phase out old habitual ways and to build up new ones. But once you start practicing, you can really start to see things changing around. The fact that you're aware that there needs to be a change in your personal beliefs is a huge step on its own for you, and you should be proud of yourself, willing to become the person who you are and not who others expect you to be. So today's meditation is going to be you going back to your child self and facing your habitual ways, and it's a meditation that you can use time and time again. Every time you discover something new that you want to rethink about and reprogram yourself, you can always come back to this meditation and use it over and over again. You're going to be meditating on an image of yourself as a child, and if you can't visualize yourself as a child, or you can't remember yourself as a child, see if you can't find an old photograph of yourself before the meditation and have a good look at it and get that memory back into your mind. Start by meditating on that image of yourself as a child. Close your eyes and visualize yourself as a child, as if your child self is sitting in the same room as you, directly opposite from you. So meditate on the image of yourself as a child until you feel that that child that you are visualizing is as much a part of you as your adult current self. So feel that connection with that child self. Once you are feeling that connection, visualize your current adult self going up to and meeting your child self and hugging him or her. Tell your child self that you love them, that everything is going to be okay. The goal of your meditation is that you are there to comfort and nurture your child self. So tell your child self that it's okay to be who you are and to want what you want out of life. Spend some time telling him or her what you feel. It is important to know to help yourself to deal with whatever it is that you are facing in your life right now. So give yourself advice as a child that you can take now as an adult to help you with where you are in your life, and let yourself know that it's okay. It's okay really to be the person that you are, and no one else should make you have to feel otherwise. So listen to the music and visualize this, and really spend as much time as you feel that you need to with your child self, and always make sure it's a positive message that you're passing on. Always pass on positive messages. You don't want to be dwelling on anything negative with your child self. You want to develop positive, good, habitual ways going forward into the future. So in a moment the music is going to start playing for you to start your meditation. So enjoy your meditation, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time with the next Abundance podcast. Until then, merry meet, merry part.